she's crying? Go comfort her. I stated the facts calmly, but Tom's face turned pale. The excuse he used to shut me down, I was now using to dismiss him. In the third year of dating Tom, I accepted a spot as an exchange student for 6 months in the US. He insisted on seeing me off at the airport, wanting to hold my hand and tell me how much he'd miss me. I touched my chest. Just a little pang of sadness, that's good. He hung up the phone, and I glimpsed a fleeting heart-shaped emoji next to a contact name on his screen. It was his childhood friend, Amanda. Tom pursued me in our freshman year. With his top grades and my gentle personality, it was physical attraction, first impression, for him. After 6 months of effort, we finally started dating. I like considerate people, those who respond to everything and follow through on every detail. When he was pursuing me, he'd get up early to bring me breakfast and message me right before class ended. If he couldn't be there himself, a message would always arrive first. My friends in the dorm room all praised him as an attentive/ideal boyfriend, until the start of our junior year and Amanda's arrival. She was his childhood friend, relationship described as growing up together, who had worked hard for the college entrance exam specifically to attend the same university/college as the neighbor boy she grew up with. The first time we met, Amanda didn't outwardly show hostility, but Tom's heart was completely focused on her. He carried scented tissue for her when they went out, cleaned/sanitized utensils for her meals, peeled shrimp/crawfish, and picked out cilantro. Amanda stared at me with a smile, saying seemingly innocent things. Looks like Tom, as addressed by Amanda, is still the same as when we were kids, always taking care of people. In short, Amanda had witnessed all these habits of his firsthand. I'm not one to dwell on things. So when Amanda said she was drunk and being followed on my birthday, and Tom rushed off, leaving me behind, I wasn't really angry. When I saw Amanda's WeChat moments post showing overlapping hands, her scraped skin, and cotton swabs, I just paused for a moment and quietly liked it. After that, it was 3-person hangouts, with her making a fuss and him laughing. Meanwhile, I, the actual girlfriend, followed silently behind them. I started re-evaluating my relationship with Tom, even subtly bringing up that I didn't really want us to always be third-wheeling. I needed to see Tom's attitude and reassess the relationship. Once or twice, Amanda deliberately didn't show up, pretending to give us time alone. But after every date, I would always see Amanda's show-off posts on WeChat moments the next day. Tom, as addressed by Amanda, is so sweet. Even after spending time with his girlfriend, he didn't forget to bring me my favorite strawberry cake. Ah. I love Tom, as addressed by Amanda, so much. I just casually mentioned I wanted fried snacks, e.g., chicken tenders, fries, and he brought them to me in the middle of the night. Seriously the best. Tom, as addressed by Amanda, pulled 2 all-nighters to help me revise my thesis, and my Professor Smith praised it. The 3 girls in my dorm room rolled their eyes to the sky. Emma, that's blatant provocation. Your boyfriend seems honest, but he's totally clueless. Does he not see how manipulative/fake behavior described she is? Or is he secretly enjoying it? I quietly liked the posts, leaving no comment. Tom's goodnight messages became a joke. You can tolerate this? Emma, you're way too easygoing. I just smiled, not wanting to waste energy arguing with Tom. If a person's heart could really be split between 2 people, what good would half of it do me? Might as well give her the whole thing back. Tom realized I was giving him the cold shoulder about a week after my birthday. It wasn't out of spite or jealousy. I'm someone who sees things clearly. My parents were business people, and I was influenced by them from a young age. When it comes to things and people, I give my all. When the outcome isn't as I hoped, I pull out immediately to protect myself. So when Tom came to coax me, I had already accepted the Professor Smith's offer to go abroad. As an exchange student, I would go to the US to connect with Jack, a former student from a few years ago, and complete 6 months of exchange study together. He seemed to know I was unhappy and stopped me halfway. Emma, are you still angry? I shook my head. It didn't matter anymore. I knew you had a good temper and wouldn't hold a small thing like this against me. I was so annoyed that day. A drunk guy was bothering Amanda. If I'd been any later she might have been dragged away. Amanda was terrified, she kept crying, and I was comforting her and didn't make it back in time. Were you looking for me for something? I interrupted his rambling, thinking about getting back to find some materials and the contact information for Jack that my Professor Smith had given me, which I hadn't responded to yet. Emma, I'm free today, I'll make up your birthday. No need, I'm busy. He stared at me, unable to tell if I was angry, and asked cautiously, don't you have class? I shook my head and felt my phone vibrate. I thought it was Jack accepting my friend request, but when I opened it, I saw Amanda had tagged me in a WeChat moment. At Emma, I'm so sorry, Emma, as addressed by Amanda. It's all my fault. I made Tom, as addressed by Amanda, come pick me up and ruined your birthday. Give me a chance to make it up to you. We'll treat you to dinner, we'll celebrate your birthday again with you. She said, we. I couldn't help but laugh, which made Tom curiously lean over to look. Emma, we didn't mean anything by it. Amanda said she wanted to bake you a cake. To apologize. I deleted Amanda's WeChat contact. There was no point in bothering with her. No thanks. We're breaking up. You guys celebrate yourselves. He grabbed me suddenly, speaking anxiously. Emma, you're misunderstanding. Amanda and I really aren't. Tom, you crossed a line. I might be easygoing, but I'm not without limits. I shook him off and just left. Little girl games, I didn't want to watch or dwell on them. If she wanted to snatch him, let her. What's snatched away is garbage anyway, not worth keeping. Since breaking up that day, I blocked both of them on everything. I prepared my documents for going abroad and contacted Jack about the address and accommodation. I also told my parents I was going abroad. I had no time to spare for Tom and Amanda. The next time I heard about them, my dorm mates were furious. Is he out of his mind? He just lets that manipulative/fake behavior described person add fuel to the fire? On the campus forum/bulletin board, Amanda posted a heartfelt message saying Tom had gotten drunk and ended up in the hospital because of me, pathetically begging me to go see him. She also said she would never bother us again, and that she had liked Tom for so many years, and he was completely unaware. He was unaware? I didn't believe it. Every time Tom said Amanda, it sounded affectionate and ambiguous, as if he were calling his lover. Their childhood bond/shared history was something I could never reach. So I withdrew, cutting my losses. Things had escalated to the point where it seemed I had abandoned my boyfriend for better career opportunities abroad. My Professor Smith frowned and immediately posted a comment. Going abroad as an exchange student is for learning, not just to pad your resume. You're coming back after studying, don't you even have basic common sense? The Professor Smith's tone was very stern. Before the negative rumors about me could spread, Amanda quietly deleted that NT. Her crazy actions earned her negative attention. Even her Professor Smith and classmates subtly mocked her in class. She couldn't stand it and cried to Tom, asking me to forgive her and issue a statement for her. But I didn't even know about it, it was my Professor Smith who told me. Tom hadn't come to beg for reconciliation when I broke up with him, but he came to beg me for Amanda's sake. Emma, you're kind-hearted and can't bear to see Amanda misunderstood, right? I stared at him indifferently, waiting for him to continue. Emma, please help Amanda issue a statement. She's still young and didn't know better. She didn't know you were just an exchange student going abroad, and her Professor Smith is always targeting her because of this. Tom, I admit I'm kind-hearted, but I'm not a pushover/overly forgiving/naive. I handed him a box. I had organized the gifts he gave me while packing. These are the gifts you gave me. Some I haven't even opened. Returning them to their owner. Whatever you two do under the guise of good big brother and little sister, please don't do it at the expense of hurting others. I made it clear. She hurt me first, which led to her being implicated, so it was her fault. Forgive someone who hurt me? Impossible. At most, I would stay out of it and watch from the sidelines. Amanda was the first to crack. She came to my dorm room, acting tearfully. Emma, as addressed by Amanda, Tom, as addressed by Amanda, and I are really innocent. Please don't break up with him because of me. I'll avoid him in the future. I promise I won't disturb your time alone. Because you broke up with him, his grades aren't up to par, and as Professor Smith criticized him and sent his graduation thesis back. Emma, as addressed by Amanda, please forgive Tom, as addressed by Amanda, it's all my fault, it's all me. I unlocked my phone, took Tom off the blacklist, and called him. Emma, have you forgiven me? I'll come see why. Oh, you right away. I cut off his excited tone and said calmly. No, I haven't forgiven you, but there are some things I want you both to understand. I looked at Amanda in front of me and spoke slowly. First, whether you and Amanda are innocent or not, I don't care and don't want to know. Second, the reason we broke up was your wavering heart. Whether it was Amanda or anyone else, you didn't care about my feelings, which means you didn't truly value me. There's no right or wrong in matters of the heart. I'm not getting involved in your complicated relationships, so I'm leaving. Third, your poor grades aren't because we broke up. It's because you skipped many required classes to take Amanda out. When we were dating, I helped you with your academic problems, have you forgotten? Your thesis being sent back is because you were busy taking care of your good little sister and rushed through it without putting in any effort. What does that have to do with me? Are you saying that if we break up, you stop eating, drinking, and breathing, that's my fault too? Tom on the other end was completely silent. I had to address Amanda. So, Amanda, I hope you both look inward and find the reasons in yourselves, instead of constantly pushing the blame onto others. I don't like being the scapegoat. I made a gesture for her to leave, hung up on Tom, and put him back on the blacklist. Amanda saw me hang up, her teary, fragile look vanished, and she glared at me, ready to start performing again. This is a women's dorm room. Do you think this is a place for your theatrics? My dorm mate retorted, you're dealing with pros here, you've only seen a few tricks? This dorm mate was a second-generation rich kid who had already started managing a company, a victor in family power struggles. Amanda was no match for her. I set the date for going abroad, and the 3 girls in my dorm room threw me a farewell dinner. I don't really like crowds, so we just had a simple mea and took some photos together. Emma, seriously, you need to toughen up a bit. That jerk is spreading rumors that you dumped him to make himself look better. If that were my mom, she'd go slap him across the face. It didn't get to that point, don't get angry, don't get angry. I calmed her down and gave them gifts. I didn't want them to keep spending money on me. Our dorm room had always been harmonious. The 3 of them liked to gather around me for studying. Emma, you'll be gone for 6 months, who's going to wake me up for my 8 a.m. class? Exactly. Who's going to help us tackle difficult group projects when we don't understand? I just smiled and didn't say anything. The 3 of them were already getting emotional. My phone got a message. Jack abroad sent me an address. Temporary address. Time was tight, so I was lucky to find housing near the university/college. Are you sure you're coming during the break? I replied affirmatively, saying I'd go early to get used to things. So, 4 or 5 days after the Lunar New Year, I set off early. I don't know how Tom found out, but he actually rushed to the airport to see me off. After packing up my things from the university/college, I sent a message to my dorm group chat. Heading out, my loves. Safe travels. Arrive safely. Remember to message us even when you're busy. I silently hummed a reply in my heart. As I pulled my luggage towards the boarding gate, I saw Tom, looking disheveled from rushing. He looked a bit more worn out than he had half a month ago. It seemed I hadn't seen him since that dorm room phone call. Emma, please don't go? I apologize, I didn't know how to balance boundaries with friends before. He must have genuinely liked me once. But his heart always seemed to wander. I was the result of his cost-benefit analysis, less important than Amanda. That's going too far with the joke. If I don't go, how will I graduate? Missing some classes wasn't a big deal, but the exchange students for both universities had already been finalized. Changing things now would just cause trouble for the university/college. They might even expel me, and then my education would be for nothing. Emma, if you leave, will we never go back to how things were? I nodded, naturally dodging his attempt to take my hand. Then Tom's phone rang. He took the call, standing a little distance away from me, then hung up and walked back towards me. I saw the heart-shaped emoji next to the contact on his screen. It was Amanda. See? His heart was leaning towards someone else from the start. Is she crying? I could even imagine her slightly furrowed brow, looking pitiful. No, Amanda, she ran into some trouble. Go comfort her. Don't hurt the young girl's feelings. My tone was calm. He had said these words to me more than once. Amanda is still young and indecisive when things happen, you should be more understanding. What can a little girl like her do? She just cries. What if she cries her eyes out? She's just a kid, that's why she cries and makes a fuss. You're so much older, you can't compare yourself to a younger girl. I was only about 2 years older than her, and because she was a kid, I had to be self-reliant. I was so amazing. Then I looked up and saw Amanda crying miserably not far away. She arrived just in time. Was she afraid I'd soften and get back together with him? Boarding now. See you. I turned and left, without even leaving him time to say goodbye. The surrounding noise slowly rushed in. I couldn't hear the conversation behind me, even the crying faded into the distance. See? Letting go isn't hard after all. You just have to be firm. I touched the location of my heart. It was still beating. Don't be sad, Emma. Be the best version of yourself. Not confined by what anyone else says you are. The plane arrived in the US still in the early evening. I looked around the airport in the US. A strange city, a strange crowd. Emma. A familiar address. A man half a head taller than me, wearing a jacket, greeted me familiarly. A cigarette was still between his fingers, and he raised a hand towards me. Everything about him exuded a sense of untamed nonchalance. I remembered what my Professor Smith had said: this kid has a bad temper, be more understanding with him. So that was it. Jack? He nodded and naturally took my suitcase. I'm not busy these few days, I'll show you around the area. I don't really know about girl stuff, you can buy toiletries yourself when you have time. I nodded. After getting in the car, he leaned over to buckle my seatbelt for me. Smells good. I covered my mouth and spoke softly. I just ate a milk candy. He chuckled, the corners of his mouth turning up, looking particularly good. Still a kid, huh? Still likes candy. I lowered my gaze and didn't reply. Did he dislike me or not? When we arrived at the place, he showed me around. It was quite clean and not far from the university/college. Thank you, Jack. It's getting late, you should go back and rest. He hummed in agreement, took his car keys, and thoughtfully closed the door for me. I took my clothes to take a shower. When I came out, I glanced at the curtains fluttering in the wind. My mind cleared instantly. I felt for my phone, mumbled to myself, and went back into the restroom. I closed the window. Jack had told me the area wasn't safe and to keep doors and windows locked at all times. I turned on the hairdryer, locked the restroom door, and sent a message to Jack. I didn't know how many people were in the house. One person, I could maybe escape. What if there were two? If they were criminals, I wouldn't even have a chance to escape. I wouldn't gamble with my life. Jack. Jack, are you asleep? Jack, can you come back? Someone is in the house. I started dialing the police, but the line was busy. There wasn't anything useful in the restro. I propped the mop against the door and leaned against it myself, trying to stay calm. This happens on my very first day. I really should go buy a lottery ticket. The hairdryer stopped abruptly. I heard faint breathing behind the door. You found me? A hoarse male voice came from behind the door. A knife scraped against the glass door with a sizzle. I pressed my body against the door and kept trying to call the police. The sizzle of the knife scraping the glass was eerily clear in the dead of night. Come out. Get out here. He started kicking the door. Ah! I couldn't help but scream. Behind the door, the man let out a malicious, distorted laugh. With a bang, the door was kicked open. The phone connected. I frantically cried for help, unable to even give my address clearly. What the F***ck are you doing in here? It was Jack's voice. I heard the muffled thuds of punches outside, making my heart pound. The knife clattered to the ground and silence returned. Messy footsteps shuffled into the room. I slowly opened the door. Jack was pinning a man down, spitting on him fiercely. The police exchanged a few words with him and took the man away. He came over to help me up, his face bruised. It's okay now. He gently patted my back. I tried to stand up twice but couldn't. Jack. My legs are a bit weak. He gripped my waist and scooped me up into his arms. It's not safe here anymore. Come with me. I didn't resist. He even helped me pull my suitcase. Holding my hand, he kept comforting me. Don't be scared, it's over now. It's my fault, I've been busy these past few days and didn't check the area. This is my friend's place, it's been empty for a while. I could guess that maybe I was the one who had intruded. Otherwise, the criminal wouldn't have been so angry. Jack's apartment was a visiting professor's apartment from before, a one-bedroom. I sat awkwardly on the bed, not knowing what to say. He got a blanket and spread it out on the floor below the bed. I'll sleep on the floor, you rest on the bed. Don't be afraid, I'm here. I wasn't as scared anymore, but being in the same room on the first meeting, it felt a bit awkward. Finally, I bit the bullet and thanked him, then turned over and went to sleep. Jack said the sheets and pillowcases were new, but the smell on them, it was a bit like my shampoo. In the night, my arm that was hanging off the bed went numb. When I tried to pull it back, I saw Jack holding my hand. I froze for a moment, and a strange feeling arose in my heart. Was he worried I was scared? When I woke up in the morning, the bedroom was already tidy. Jack was wearing a pink apron over his rolled-up sleeves, a strange sight. He held a cigarette in his mouth as he casually placed a fried egg on a plate, squirting ketchup on it. The pink apron didn't look out of place on him. You're up? The toiletries are new, just use them. I nodded my thanks and went into the bathroom. 1 tube of toothpaste. I'm not that fussy, although, this felt a bit like living together. Before the university/college started, I had already familiarized myself with the location of the buildings across campus with Jack's help. The apartment was next to the library at the back of the university/college, perfect for going back for a nap after finishing research. I discussed finding another place to live and moving out with Jack. He disagreed. His reason was, "You're the only promising student I have, and I plan to encourage you to pursue a master's degree. I can't afford for anything to happen to you." He? Your Professor Smith is my uncle. They were relatives. No wonder my Professor Smith said he had a bad temper. He knew him well because he was family. At Jack's insistence, I agreed to his suggestion. Moving out of the university/college did have some concerns, but it was only for half a semester, it would pass quickly. Jack kept sleeping in the living room. As the weather got warmer, he started coming out wrapped in just a towel after showering. I felt awkward for a moment and pretended not to see. As I walked past, I heard him chuckle softly again. "Emma, do you dislike me?" "No." He raised an eyebrow and stared at me, pressing on. "Why do you stay so far away from me in the lab?" He was a teaching assistant, and many students squeezed forward because they thought he was good looking. "Back then, you chased my uncle across buildings across campus, practically throwing yourself at him." "When did I?" "How did you know?" "I just know." It seemed some memories were coming back. "That was because I had academic problems, and the Professor Smith was too busy, so I chased him across 3 buildings across campus. Mainly, he was being called by several Professor Smiths, and I couldn't get my question answered." "Don't you have any problems now?" "I did, but your cigarette smell is too strong, and I really can't squeeze past all those girls." I bit my lip, forced to speak. Cigarettes in the US had a very strong smell, and the scent lingered longer than in China. And the girls were generally a bit taller than me and had bigger frames. He paused for a moment, then ran a hand through his damp bangs. "Oh, really? Okay, I get it." I watched him change clothes and leave, puzzled. What did he get? When I saw Jack again that evening, he was carrying newly bought clothes, still looking nonchalant. This time he wasn't smoking, he had a lollipop in his mouth. "He likes candy too?" "It's not a holiday, why did you buy new clothes?" He didn't seem to care much about what he wore before. He tossed the bag on the floor and bit down on the candy a couple of times. "Didn't you say my clothes smelled like smoke?" "Threw them out and bought new ones." "Huh? That's quite an expense." I gave an awkward laugh and hurried into my room. After Jack started sleeping in the living room, I spent a small fortune buying him a deluxe folding bed/cot. Given his height of 6 feet 3 inches, storing it wasn't a problem. I felt a bit guilty, but he insisted I not rent a place by myself. So gradually, some students knew we were living together. People in the US are warm and open, and there wasn't anything wrong with it anyway, especially since we were from the same university/college. But for some girls who liked Jack, I was getting a head start. They deliberately picked on me, excluding me as a new student in shared classes. Childish tricks that left me feeling tired. Jack wasn't with me all the time, and they finally cornered me in the restroom. 3 girls with exaggerated makeup, ear and tongue piercings. Well, aren't you a pretty Oriental girl? Why does Jack like you of all people?" There were other Chinese international students at the university/college, but from different regions. "Hey, have you guys slept together?" she asked boldly, and I frowned. Jack seemed like the type who would be hard to handle. I hadn't even properly looked at his abs yet. "Excuse me, I'm in a hurry to get to the library." They surrounded me, blocking my way. "If you haven't slept together, then move out. Stay away from him." She put her hand on my shoulder, the ring on her finger had a sharp point, digging into my skin. "I hate goody two-shoes like you. I'll get him eventually." I pushed her away, wincing in pain. My shoulder felt like it was bleeding. "If you like him, go for it. I won't stop you. But if he dislikes you and you still throw yourself at him, that's just pathetic." "You called me pathetic?" She raised her hand to slap me angrily, but I blocked it with my hand. I wasn't really a goody two-shoes. Because my parents were business people, I knew how to handle myself and even got into fights sometimes. After I became an adult, their business grew, it wasn't a small shop anymore, and fewer people caused trouble, so I naturally toned down. "And my temper. You were the first one to say you hated me." "I don't like you either." I silently applied pressure, pinching the nerve on her arm. She cried out in pain and tried to shake off my hand, but I held on too tightly, and she slumped to the floor. The other 2 girls came at me together. Although I got hit, they were disorganized, whereas I knew where to hit to inflict the most pain. When Jack kicked the door open and burst in, the 3 of them were rolling on the floor. Although I was red and bruised, at least my clothes were intact. "Where does it hurt?" He touched my face, and I hissed, pulling away. Jack frowned, glancing at the 3 people on the floor. "This isn't over. You 3 can keep rolling for now." He picked me up in his arms and left, then started rummaging through cabinets looking for a first aid kit. I'm fine. I explained the whole way that I was fine, but his hands were still trembling as he applied iodine bottle/antiseptic bottle to my shoulder. Shit. He suddenly threw the iodine bottle/antiseptic bottle, cupped my face with one hand, and tilted my chin up. Emma, I want to kiss you. What? A kiss, fueled by frustration, landed on my lips. It started tentatively, then became messy with labored breathing, and finally, I felt suffocated. I suddenly groaned, frowning in pain. Jack pulled back instantly, taking his hand off my shoulder. Does it hurt here? He pulled back my shoulder, revealing a clear cut seeping blood. In that moment, Jack's eyes flashed with fury. He leaned down and licked the wound with his tongue. What are you doing? I recoiled in surprise, pressing back into the sofa, making it sink. Humph. He stared at me, leaning closer, speaking word by word. I like you, I want you. Understand? I shook my head. I didn't understand. We'd only known each other for less than 2 months. I was attracted by looks/physical attraction, first impression, to you, or what you might call low D at first sight. He let out a heavy sigh and went back to pick up the iodine bottle/antiseptic bottle from the floor. We'll talk about this after your wound heals. I'll disinfect it first. He held down my legs to keep me from running away, clamping them tightly under his armpit. Don't you dare run. Strange. Since I locked the door that day, Jack had been looking gloomy for the past few days. He looked like I owed him $1 million. Are you done? He stopped me as I was leaving the library with my books. You're really free these days. In the morning announcement, the 3 girls had their academic credits deducted and were given demerits. They had to retake Jack's class to earn the credits back, and their faces were priceless. I need to keep an eye on you. I'm not a criminal? He crunched on his candy. Yeah, you're my most important treasure. What? He was starting to talk nonsense again. I quickly ran away, getting home and rushing into my room to lock the door first. This person was getting increasingly inappropriate lately, always saying bizarre things. Was this mental state truly that of an academic genius? Maybe smart people are probably a bit abnormal. When I finished showering and was about to sneak back to my room, Jack jammed his foot in the door. No, you'll break it. If he got injured, I wouldn't be able to explain myself. Why are you avoiding me? I quit smoking, didn't I? Was that supposed to be a reason to quit smoking? I'm not. Isn't this just normal going to and from the university/college? He gave me a mournful look and started squeezing himself into the gap in the door. Let me in. I want in. I couldn't. His mental state was highly suspect. It's getting late, get some rest. I was about to close the door when he grabbed my fingers on the door frame. Emma, you can't tell I like you, can you? I'm confessing right now. I like you, I'm smitten with you, I want you. I want to kiss you, I want to hug you, I want to sleep with you, I want to possess your heart, I want to. No, you don't. I quickly covered his mouth. What was he talking about all day? What are you saying? We barely know each other. We do now. I've been wanting you for 2 years. What? You really are a pervert. He raised an eyebrow. I am. I admitted it, so will you go out with me? Huh? This person. In your sophomore year, I came back to China to visit my uncle and saw you. It was the time you chased him across buildings across campus. It was physical attraction, first impression, for me. He pouted afterwards. But my uncle said you had a boyfriend. Damn, I was a step too late. I could hear the grit in his teeth. I got information about you from my uncle. Your name wasn't on the previous list of international students. Later, my uncle said you were going through a breakup, so I asked him to reach out to you again. No wonder, even though I initially refused, my Professor Smith came back to persuade me. As long as you come, stay far away from that guy, and I'll definitely get a head start. He had already gotten inside the door and was walking towards me step by step. Emma, I've been holding back so much. I retreated, until I had nowhere left to go. I'm afraid of scaring you, what should I do? I want to kiss you. I'm going crazy wanting to. Jack. I put my hands on his chest and suddenly spoke. Do you even know me? Just saying you like me? He scoffed, not bothered. You can get to know someone after you start dating. I don't want to know about you from what others say. I only want to know the you I see, the you I touch, the you only I know. My heartstrings were gently plucked. His words were like a stone dropped into calm water, creating ripples. When Tom pursued me, it was also based on descriptions from his dorm mates, saying I was good at studying, had a good temper, and was easy to get along with. That's why he decided to pursue me. but he never truly understood the real me. That's why when I decisively broke up with him, he couldn't believe I would be so resolute. Emma, falling in love with someone is initially attracted by looks/physical attraction, first impression. I admit I was attracted by looks/physical attraction, first impression, but I'll discover your good qualities and love you a little more each day than the last. The moon was bright that night. Jack didn't sleep in the living room. His breathing went from rapid to finally steady, followed by a frustrated sleep mumbled through clenched teeth. He wrapped me up completely, pressing his fingertip against my slightly swollen lips, holding me and whispering with a soft chuckle, "Just you wait. When we get back to China, I'll really have my way with you." About half a month before returning to China, I accepted Jack's request to start dating. He decisively resigned, saying he wanted to go back to China with me. Being a Professor Smith didn't matter, being with me was the main thing. "Then what will you do back there? Still teach?" He put a cracked crab claw on my plate and sucked on it. "Afraid I can't support you? You don't need to support me. Then you want me to live off her/be a kept man?" He didn't look like that. 30 million in savings, 2 villas. He shamelessly shoved a bank card into my hand. "My uncle is not planning to marry/committed bachelor. If I take care of him in his old age, the properties under his name will be mine too." I exclaimed, "Good heavens." I wondered if his Professor Smith knew his nephew was already eyeing his assets. The day we returned to China, when Jack was behind me pulling the suitcase, my Professor Smith almost pulled me into his embrace. "What are you doing back here with him? Did he bully you?" Jack pulled me to his side, displeased, and laced his fingers with mine. "Let me introduce you, this is my wife." Term of endearment. "Ah, how could you, didn't you know, so back then but she's my." He finally conceded. "Okay." Then he turned to comfort me. "Emma, my nephew might have a bad temper, but he has a good heart. He wouldn't dare mess around outside. If he does, I'll disown him and take you as my niece." Getting an uncle for free? Then I was really lucky. Buy a lottery ticket. On the way back, I actually bought 3 lottery tickets. In my senior year, I applied for pursuing a master's degree and was still busy at the university/college. Jack went to teach at a neighboring university/college. With his qualifications, he was promoted to Professor Smith, the same level as his uncle. Because of his humorous and engaging teaching style, his classes were packed. I think most girls were there to admire his looks, though. The day I submitted my graduation thesis, I saw Tom from a distance. Jack and I bought a small apartment off campus and lived together, not telling anyone the address. My former dorm mate said he had contacted them, saying he wanted to pick things up with me again after I returned to China. How irritating. I didn't ask if he and Amanda were together, it had nothing to do with me. 2 months before graduation, Jack confessed his love for me. I twirled the ring on my finger and spoke with some difficulty. "We can't have kids if we get married now. After all, I was just starting my pursuing a master's degree. It would take a few years." "What? Afraid I'll change my mind and leave?" He gently bit and sucked on my earlobe. "I won't. As for kids, they're for fun. We'll just have more fun together for a few years before they come." He picked me up in his arms, not even bothering to close the curtains in broad daylight. "I am scared. Look at the girls in your class, the way they look at you, like wolves looking at meat." He laughed heartily and kissed me. Who could be better than my wife? Term of endearment. "She's got me so infatuated I act like an idiot, craving her so much I go crazy every day." I pinched his waist. "I never said I was good." He nudged me, looking mischievous. "Then I'm the one who's shameless. I just adore you. I'm smitten with you. I want you. I want to kiss you." I covered his mouth. Why was he always talking dirty? After that day, Jack started wearing a matching ring with mine. Later, his catchphrases in class spread throughout the university/college. "How do you know I have a wife?" Term of endearment. "Do you? If not, why aren't you paying attention? Will you have one in the future then? You can tell at a glance you're single and just running your mouth. Does loving someone mean you want to see them hurt and cry? I don't hang out with you guys. I'm worried you'll take advantage of me when I'm drunk/incapacitated. I have to stay faithful to my wife/be loyal to my wife. I don't make friends with guys who smoke and drink. I have to live a long life with my wife." Term of endearment. On graduation photo day, I saw Tom. He looked lost in the crowd, not like the spirited young man I knew. A dorm mate who had come back for the occasion gossiped with me. Tom had dated 2 girlfriends after me, but he couldn't tolerate Amanda's interference and meddling. He was either in a cold war or arguing with them. The second girlfriend was a working professional with 2 years of experience who introduced Tom to her company. She got him a job and genuinely cared about him. But Amanda would constantly pretend to have headaches or fevers, calling him over with excuses, and he couldn't focus on his work. The girlfriend got angry. She went to the university/college and found Amanda, and in front of many classmates, played the ambiguous voice messages Amanda had sent Tom, accusing her of deliberately interfering in others' relationships, questioning if she enjoyed being the other woman/mistress/relationship breaker or simply had no morals. Tom, who rushed over, was frustrated. This girlfriend was smart and capable and could help him, whereas Amanda only played childish games and wore him out mentally and physically. His girlfriend was done. She told him if he wanted to be a saint, he could do it himself. She wasn't going to be a pushover/doormat, rephrased. She decisively broke up with him and got Tom fired. His probation period was almost over. He could have become a permanent employee/get hired full-time. In the crowd, Tom looked over, catching my eye from a distance. I felt annoyed and turned my head away. The more I tried to ignore him, the closer he came. Emma, have you been well this past year? I nodded, giving a casual reply. He noticed the ring on my hand. You have a boyfriend? I shook my head, not missing his fleeting look of surprise. I'm married. Married? He had been interning for 6 months and hadn't been at the university/college often, so he hadn't heard the rumors about Jack. Is that lovesick Professor Smith from the neighboring university/college teaching today? Just a year and a half, and you? He looked incredulous, even thinking I had been too decisive when I broke up with him and didn't try to reconcile. Where's Amanda? Isn't she here for the graduation photo? I changed the subject, and his expression softened. Amanda is too childish, she's immature. I don't like that kind of personality in a girlfriend. He wasn't so dismissive back then, he loved how she relied on him. He got tired of it so quickly. He really is unreliable. Tom, are you ready? A girl behind him called out, let's take a picture together. He made to go over and nodded at me. It seemed she was a classmate from his department. Then Tom's phone rang. On the other end was Amanda's whiny/acting helpless crying. Tom, as addressed by Amanda, I can't finish packing my things. Can you come to my dorm room and help me move them? He glanced at the girl who called him, sounding a bit impatient. I told you I'm taking graduation photos. My whole class is here, do you want me to miss it? I don't know what she said on the other end, but his impatient tone grew stronger. You're a junior, not a kindergarten kid. Can't you even pack your own luggage? No one can take care of you forever. I'm just your neighbor, not your mom. He hung up the phone angrily, and the girl opposite him smiled. She put her arm around his shoulder, and they posed for a photo side by side. He finally understood. In this world, anyone can live without anyone else. Amanda might have found it hard to adapt when she first arrived, but every new student needs time to integrate into the new campus and make new friends. Did Tom think Amanda couldn't even eat or sleep by herself during the 2 years he was gone? Childhood bonds/shared history might be genuine, but it fades with the arrival of new experiences. After all, none of us are as simple and innocent as we were when we were young. Wife, term of endearment, are you done taking pictures? Jack appeared behind me, seemingly out of nowhere. He was biting a lollipop, looking nonchalant. Tada! Rosa suddenly appeared from behind him, vibrant and alive. Isn't that Professor Smith Jack from the neighboring university/college? The Dean Brown took off his graduation cap and smiled meaningfully. Oh Emma, is this? Are you holding a grudge because I didn't choose to be a Professor Smith here? The Dean Brown looked awkward for a moment, then he spoke again. Student-professor relationship doesn't sound good. I wasn't keen on it. So going to another university/college doesn't count as a student-professor relationship? The wife, term of endearment, he keeps bragging about as the top student in our department. I knew it. I hadn't even pursued her, and she was already taken. This is everything. The crowd got increasingly chaotic. I pulled Jack away. Can't you be a little less flashy? He was shameless, unafraid of boiling water, and boasted. Then let me kiss you first, and I'll tone it down just a little. You really can't give this guy an inch. Give him a ladder and he'll climb to the sky. I didn't expect to see Amanda. She was still wearing a white dress, standing in the wind, looking as frail and gentle as she had at the beginning of freshman year. Emma, don't leave. I stopped, puzzled. She came closer step by step and grabbed my hand. Emma, please get back together with Tom, as addressed by Amanda. Please? Was my hearing bad, or was there something wrong with her brain? Maybe go get checked out at the hospital, Amanda, as addressed by Tom. Don't you leave. She held me back forcefully. When you were dating him, I was constantly seeking him out, and it was fine. You never got angry, you weren't jealous or crying. Why can't the others handle it? They're all idiots, hogging Tom, as addressed by Amanda, all the time, texting and calling him if they don't see him for a minute. Nothing even happened between us when we were together. What are they making a fuss about? Her worldview was a bit twisted, she seemed crazy to me. You could be so generous, why can't others? So please get back together with Tom, as addressed by Amanda. You're pursuing a master's degree, you'll have good job prospects/career opportunities after graduation, and a high salary. You can help Tom, as addressed by Amanda. Emma, you have the best temper. I'll call Tom, as addressed by Amanda, right now and tell him you agreed to get back together, and you'll dump that woman. Hit me? Humph. Does she even deserve to? I took Amanda's hand and slowly pried her fingers off, speaking softly. Thank you for your kind intentions, but I'm married. She froze instantly, and her phone fell to the ground. Married? To whom? You were supposed to be with Tom, as addressed by Amanda. You were supposed to tolerate our childhood bond/shared history. Only a fool would do something like that, wouldn't they? She asked me in shock, but you did that before. I took him away so many times, and you never got angry. Because I didn't love him. Jack pulled me into his arms from behind. Why be sad over trash? Little girl, a wavering man like that will get his comeuppance. He chuckled, biting down on a candy in his mouth, his gaze dark as he stared at Amanda. You will too. Amanda stumbled back, screaming. You're lying, who are you? Let go of her, she's Tom, as addressed by Amanda's girlfriend. Oh. We're husband and wife. Legally married. He still had that smug expression, and I couldn't help but feel like laughing too. Tom rushed over, looking disheveled, and grabbed Amanda. Her mind was fixated on her Tom, as addressed by Amanda. Her values and mindset were already warped. I'm sorry, she didn't mean to talk nonsense, she's still young. Tom's words trailed off. She was a junior. When I was her age, I was already studying abroad by myself. Emma. I'm truly sorry. Tom bent down, gripping Amanda's arm tightly, the veins on the back of his hand bulging. How much longer until his patience reached its limit? Keep an eye on her. Or maybe take her to the hospital? Jack scoffed, pointing a finger at him. When you call my wife, term of endearment, use her full name. Don't call her so intimately. You two aren't close. Seeing that Amanda was not in a good state, I pulled Jack away. What? Are you defending him? He was jealous again. Were you going to hit him? He grunted, crossing his arms, staring at me angrily. Haven't you heard that a good ex should be like their dad? I pinched his ear. Do you want to dig up his grave and whip the corpse? How awful. His eyes darted around, then he reverted to his usual shameless, clingy self. As long as you're not feeling sorry for him, feel sorry for me instead. I've been teaching all day, talking so much my throat is sore. He looked like he was about to cry, but it seemed fake. I patted his head and smoothed his hair. The next second, I stood on my tiptoes and kissed his Adam's apple. A pig-like scream echoed through the street corner/alley. Someone picked me up and ran home frantically. Jack, put me down. No way, let's hurry home. My wife, term of endearment, asked me to do it for the first time. What asked me to do it? With my height, that was the only place I could reach. Damn this height difference.